Hey guys, how's it going? Preparing here. So today I'm going to talk about the whole Chanman thing and how it involves with Reddit and what I've done with Reddit and basically all the stuff that I think was going on because it's pretty interesting. This all happened a little bit over a day ago, but I need a little bit more time to collect my thoughts and kind of see things a little bit clearly. And well, here we are. So what happened? Well, some people on Reddit, including some small companies and that kind of stuff, but also including the host of Value Town. And I used to be a pretty big part of Value Town, but they don't really cover Arena too much, and I don't really cover Constructed too much. So Chanman V, pretty cool guy. A lot of people don't like him casting, don't like him at all or anything like that, but I think he's pretty cool. I think he tries stuff, at least on the content end of things. And basically, he was banned from the Hearthstone Reddit because he had 40 bot accounts that would thumb up his posts. So he, I don't know, presumably would go, Value Town, live at this time, whatever, and his 40 bots would upvote it, and that's why it would always be there, and that's why I would always have questions on that thread, which, if you really think about it, probably made a whole lot of sense because that thread always went somewhere. So yeah, that's kind of how it worked. And he talked again about it on some kind of like podcast that he does. I think it's Unfiltered or something. I don't really watch his stuff too much, so I don't know. But anyway, the other guys asked him if he ever used these bots to downvote other competitors, and he gave a very political answer. So, when that stuff kind of happens, you have some idea that some more shady stuff happened than is being shown in the public. But in any case, obviously this stuff is pretty harmful to the Reddit environment because, ideally on the internet, people like to have their fair voice and stuff that's cool, stuff that has fluffy kittens or whatever, all that kind of shit, comes to light. What people generally like, is shown. And that's kind of the idea behind Reddit. And this really is a perversion of that to, massively thumb up all the stuff. Anyway, before I get into what I think's going on and all the details of that, I'll tell you guys what I've done with Reddit. So I learned about Reddit when I was starting to take, the gaming thing a bit seriously, to starting up the stream and all that. When I was preparing for it, I tried to get a bunch of angles because, I was working at the time as a computer technician. You don't make a lot of money. I thought I could make about the same doing like YouTube videos, maybe streaming, and I wanted to, do pretty well, and I wanted people to see my content. So for a long while, I'd say maybe for 2 or 3 months, whenever I would make a Diablo 3 video, I would post it on the Diablo Reddit, and I'd just leave it. I don't have any bots or anything like that, and it'd have my one thumb up. I'd be the one bot. And I'd say about half the time the thread would go absolutely nowhere. But, some of those times someone else would post my video on that Reddit because they found it good, and sometimes that thread would go somewhere. So in the end, maybe about 3 times out of 4, 2 times out of 3, the video that I made just about every day regarding Diablo 3 would end up on the Diablo 3 Reddit, and people liked it and all that stuff. And, I didn't really do that with any other game, but I did it with Diablo 3. Honestly, there is the business aspect, which I really, really don't push at all. But in that case, at the start, I wanted it to work. I wanted people to see the content, but also because the other Diablo 3 content at the time was complete trash. No one knew the game at all. No one really bothered to learn it as a science. So, everything we were talking about was, stuff that was relevant. I very honestly felt at the time that people are wasting the time watching a bunch of other videos, and, we were making the good stuff. I thought it was important for the Reddit community to see the good stuff so they get educated in, whatever in Diablo 3. But in the end, one thing that I think separates me from just about all the other streamers, just about all the other, people who try to make it work through YouTube or through whatever on the interwebs, is I don't really care. I want it to work. It's nice to do what I do, all the rest. But I'm not going to ever see it as a business, even though it is. But because it's video games and because playing video games is awesome, and it's really what I like to do before all this stuff. I didn't really want to, ruin it. I didn't want to log in every day, punch in the clock, figure out how to, get my content out to the most people, get the most donations possible, get the most subs possible on YouTube, get the most subs possible on Twitch, and just put on a show like I'm an actor or something like that. No, I'd play video games. If I'm frustrated, I'll be frustrated. If I want to play some shitty video game no one wants to watch, I'm going to play some shitty video game no one wants to watch. And, well, maybe sometime in the future, I'll go back to the one that whatever part of audiences wanted to see. This is a pretty big separation from what I've seen is just about everyone else out there streaming or making YouTube content or that kind of stuff. And these people will not admit it, because when you admit that you are doing something as a business, as a job, it pretty much becomes the death of entertainment, because people see that you're doing it because it seems that you have to do it or something like that. And back to the Chanman thing, back to manipulating Reddit, manipulating what people see. My feeling is, I don't disagree with it that much. I mean, yes, it does ruin Reddit, but I can understand why someone would do that. It's pretty difficult to make it work. If, you're starting from nothing and you want to come up with a show and you want people to see it and you got to pump out, the flyers, they call it marketing. Apparently putting up 40 bots is a marketing strategy. So you guys can very clearly see what's going on. In business, it's cutthroat, and they try to take every advantage possible, anything they could do, fair or unfair. I mean, it's not illegal to do this on Reddit. It's against their terms of service, and if you get caught, well, you have to explain yourself. That's about the consequence that you suffer. So that's the way I see it. A lot of people who do this kind of stuff, they're in it for the business side. They like the monies for whatever reason, and they try to extract as much of that as possible, and to make it work, they will do pretty much anything. And that goes outside of, playing games or doing something with the actual content. It involves the business side of things. When I was starting up, even with YouTube, this is just kind of a tangent thing, but came to mind. Because, I got YouTube off the ground from somewhere. I was in Exodus. I realized I was, totally badass hunter in World of Warcraft. And the way that I started is I had a really badass UI, and I would post a lot on different forums like MMO Champion, and in my signature I'll have my YouTube thing. If you guys want some hunter tips, or if you guys want to see my UI or whatever, there'll be a link there for the highest DPS hunter in the world or whatever. Just that kind of stuff. And people who wanted to see the content, maybe they saw the signature, and I had a pretty big UI thread, and I said, if you want to see the UI in action, you can see the YouTube videos. So, I got some people seeing it that way. But, it was all kind of strategic, but it was all fair. And I think, at least on a personal level, which is probably very different from most others who are doing the kind of stuff that I do, you take it easy. If people like watching what you do, they like watching what you do. Don't push yourself too much, because in the end, this kind of stuff tends to come out. And as you've seen lately, it's more than just the one guy. On the Reddit, the people who got caught, there are a few others as well. I don't really know them that well, but there was something about on gamers or something like that. I don't know. In the end, when it comes to gaming, don't ruin it, man. Playing games is awesome. Why would you want to bring the business side of anything into this kind of domain? So, have fun while you can. Don't ruin it for yourself. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.